Hey guys, I'm Mark with Craftsman Upholstery, and today we're going to show you how to upholster a dining room chair. Okay, so there's two main styles of dining room chairs. Parsons chairs, and there's a lot of different styles there. And then you've got wooden chair with an upholstered seat. And this is the one we're gonna focus on today. It's a little bit easier to learn some upholstery basics. So the tools you're gonna need are a drill or a screwdriver, a fork staple remover or an ice pick, dikes or another pair of pliers, a pneumatic staple gun or a hand staple gun, something to cut with, something to write with, something to measure with, and you might need foam and batting, but we'll talk about that later. So the first step is to take the seat cushion off of the chair. So you'll flip the chair over, and then we'll want to take out the screws that hold it together. Sometimes this dust cloth will be below this, and you'll have to remove it at this step, but on this chair that's coming later. Okay, so we'll start taking these screws out. You just take those screws out one by one until it's all out. So once the screws are all out, then you can just pop it apart. Sometimes they'll stick a little bit. So we're gonna start by stripping off the dust cloth, and we're gonna do it carefully so we can reuse it so you don't have to buy more. And then there's another layer of staples underneath the dust cloth for the fabric, and we'll take that off as well. You actually don't necessarily need to, but if you don't, and there's crustiness or if there's any imperfections, it'll show through in your final product. So we're gonna go ahead and do it. So to test your foam, you're going to want to have your hand outstretched and feel in the sit region of the cushion. And if it's too soft or you feel the plywood, you're going to want to replace the foam. This one's still good, but we're going to show you how to cut just in case you need to. Okay, so if you need to cut your foam, we're going to add one tool, which is a serrated knife, so you can cut along the edge after you've marked it. And for foam, we recommend going to an upholstery shop and getting a better grade of foam that's going to last longer. So you're going to start by grabbing your marking utensil and marking about 1/4 inch from your board. That way you never feel the edge of the board after it's been upholstered. And then you're going to cut right along that line. So whether you're using new foam or old foam, you can add a little bit of batting if you'd like to give it a little extra cushion. And it also helps smooth out the appearance just so that it looks nice. And you're going to want to cut it about 1 inch past your foam. Okay, so when you have the Dacron on, you can staple it onto the sides of your board. This helps you so that it's not shifting around while you're trying to upholster it and kind of making things hard. So you staple it on the side. You start with the front and then go to the back and then the two sides and work your way to the corners just like you would when you're upholstering. So it'll give you a little practice. So the next step is to measure your cushion so that you can cut out your fabric. So you want to measure at the widest point and give an extra inch on each side so you can pull and staple. And this is 26 inches. And the depth at the largest point, which gives us 24 inches with our extra inch on each side. So to cut your fabric, first you want to lay out on your pattern your cushion, which with a pattern here, this has the same height and width, so it's universal, but you're going to want to find which way is top and bottom. We're going to use this as top on this cushion. And then you try to lay this out so that you got your 26 inches and 13 inches center, which kind of falls in the middle of nowhere on your pattern. So we're going to cheat it over so that your center is centered on your cushion. And we're going to mark that. Then we're going to mark this side of the cushion and then move it back, keep in line with your center, make that mark again, and then mark your depth. And if you have a small pattern or no pattern, You just mark the depth. If you have a large pattern, make sure it's centered. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we've made marks on the center of the board that correspond to the center of the fabric beneath it. And that helps you line up your pattern and keep it dead center. So we're going to start by tacking down the 4 corners, starting with the front and the back, and then the 2 sides, closer to the widest point, if it's sloped, or right in the middle. And then we're going to work our way outside toward the corners, and corners you're going to learn to love. That's where upholsterers are made. You'll see some funky corners out there. So the better you get, the more you're going to notice them, and they'll drive you nuts. We're going to start by finding a place on the pattern we can use as our edge on every single one of your chairs. We're going to use the bottom of our diamond right where it's white and tack that. And keep this kind of tight, because the tighter you keep it, the easier it is when you get to your corners. Okay, so now that we're at your corners, we're going to show you 2 styles that are most common. We're going to start with the pleat, where you come all the way down the one side, and then when you get to the front or back, you can tuck a little fabric under and make a fold right here. So you've got one fold from the front and back. It's going to look just like one waterfalled nice piece, and that's your pleat. The other option is to get your fabric, pull it kind of tight, twist a little bit, and that gives you a nice clean finish on the front and the side, and all your folds are on the bottom of the cushion. We're going to do that option on this chair. So just put this dust cloth back in place. And you don't need to go overboard with the staples here. All right, well, you are there. You're ready to put it back on the chair. So we're gonna flip this over. Okay, so once it's laid down and it's centered and you know it's about where it was before, it's time to put the screws back in. Congratulations! If you stuck with us, you've now got an upholstered chair. And if you have any questions, please just comment below. We'd love to help you with those. If you enjoyed our video, please like and subscribe. We're gonna come out with more upholstery related content soon. Thank you for creating with us. Till next time.